Hello, friends. So, in these unprecedented economic times, what we are seeing, a lot of major changes are happening at the foundational level. Like the biggest debt offering community has been banks and NBFCs with a major share. But now we are seeing private equity funds, or these firms are trying to enter and increase their percentage share. So currently they are limited to 2% in the Indian market of credit uh, borrowings being offered by them to firms. And now they are eyeing it to increase it further. And NBFCs, which are near about 20 to 25%, may shrink because they have seen difficulties in their asset quality. Similar is the case with banks, which have seen a lot of default cases. So that is one part. When we see how banks being the credit giver and for most of the defaulters is making strategic decisions for companies. Now, for instance, Kishore Biani's Future Retail Company. Now, the firm is unable to pay the loans for their April debts, which was due in the April, and now the banks, the creditors, are suggesting an all stock sale of the company, merger with another retail firm like Reliance Retail or someone with cash, so that the creditors can get their money and the default can be addressed. So these activities are a new norm in this current era, and the kind of support being offered by the RBI with easier monetary policy or quantitative easing, easier credits, and other measures in such direction, that is not being rightly reflected to help the market safeguard themselves. So, so that is almost an ongoing activity, a new norm in which we live, where economic activities happen like this. Also, we see a lot of job cuts and a lot of startups and enterprises are being shut in the previous month, and more is expected to happen this month. So, an economic terrorism, what we can say, is what we are facing, the individuals, the Indians are facing, along with the global citizens, because the situation is similar all across. So, in these times, it is important to be together and practice social solidarity with physical distancing, definitely, and try to be as much productive as possible and embrace what is happening. We have seen how the laborers had to stay in a very difficult environment for the last 40 days of lockdown, and now they have been sent back, most of them. And now that the businesses are trying to reoperate, then they are finding it difficult to bring back the laborers and practice the proper physical distancing, what is required, and other sanitary requirements, what is required for the laborers. So these challenges are there, and we cannot straight away have a blueprint formula to deal with it. We all need to think on it and try to find the best solution to save ourselves and be productive at the same time. So let's see how things will unfold in the coming weeks. We have a 2 week uh, ease of national lockdown, and a lot of new cases have been reported in the last couple of days. So in that context, we need to see that these 2 weeks experiment, what we are doing, is it has it is it going to yield us a good result or not, and accordingly further decisions can be made. From the government's perspective, everything cannot be left on the hands of the government, because when we see the state governments, then their coffers are getting empty because the economy is in standstill and there's no collection of any form of tax, uh, be it salary because salaries have dipped, be it alcohol consumption tax, fuel consumption tax, or stamp duty, because no exchanges are happening, no registrations are happening, no cars are being sold. So companies are also not in profit. So state's revenue, the tax revenue, is highly in great difficulty. It has fallen more than near about 90% for Delhi on a year-on-year basis if we compare the month of April. Similar is the scenario for Rajasthan, and many other states are expected to follow suit. So that is a problem, and the center as well is having facing difficulties to have a big revenue. So the revenue problem is there, tax revenue problem is there, and everything cannot be solved that way. However, one way is to trade off inflation uh, with quantitative easing, bringing out money from the RBI, printing more money. So that in a way will affect all of us. So in a way, we are reducing our purchasing power, and our stored money has lost, will lose value in such a way. So that is something ultimately that might have to be reached out to safeguard the economy and everything. But then in that case, we are paying, all of us are paying in terms of higher inflation for this pandemic and to safeguard the economy. So a lot is to be seen how things will unfold. Dark days might come ahead, but if we try to be productive and help social solidarity and move ahead with confidence, then things will turn out well. Thank you.